Hello, what's up guys, welcome back to my video. If you're new, my name is Emmanuel. In this video we're gonna be creating a calculator. Trust me, you're gonna be surprised at how good this calculator is. But before we take a step into the tutorial, make sure you give this video a thumbs up so YouTube can recommend it to other people so they can learn as well. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss my next epic videos. So let's get into the video. Now the first thing we want to do is we want to import everything we need as usual. But before we do that, we're gonna set up. I like setting up whenever I start the video, so in case you don't know what to do, you can just follow along. So I'm gonna do calcu. Wow, I felt I just forgot how to spell calculator over there. Okay. So next thing I want to do is we're gonna open container folder. Just right click and open container folder. Make sure you are in this same folder where you have your Python file. So if you're on Mac or Linux, right click and open in terminal. You should see that there. But if you're on Windows like I am, just come up here and type cmd. You should open your command prompt like this. So we're gonna minimize that and come bring this down here. So the reason why we have this open is so we can run our Python file. So you can run it to Sublime Text, but you see the reason why we are not running it in Sublime Text in a few minutes. So the first thing we want to do is I'm gonna type Python here and then calculator .py. So this is how you run your Python file, Python and the Python, then the name of the Python file. So we're gonna press enter, and then if you see no error, that means it works. Now next thing I want to do is I want to open the Python interpreter. The reason why I open this is so I can explain some things to you before we get into the video. First of all, we're going to make use of the math Python standard math library. This is used for mathematical operations. That's a lot of mathematical functions like the cos, the sine, factorial, and so on and so forth. So if I do import math, you don't need to install it, it's built in. So if I do import math, we have everything in math. If I do direct math, you can see we have the log, we have square root, we have tan, and so much and much more. So if I do math dot square root and I give it 25, then we have 5.0, which is correct. So I'm gonna control Z and press enter to get out of that. So just to show you what the math module can do, we have a lot more inside there, by the way. Now we're gonna come up here, we're gonna make use of the math module for this as well. So I'm gonna say from math import, then we want to import everything from the math module, and we're going to see that in a minute. So I'm going to do star. So that star means you're going to import everything from the math module. The next thing we want to do is we're going to define our function that's going to perform the operation. So we're going to say define calculate. I want to call it calculate. So it's going to take in an expression. Okay. So next thing we want to do is, now this is where the magic lies. This is where you've all be waiting for. So we're going to say eval. Then this is what performs the operation. Then we're going to say expression. Now you might be wondering, oh, I've used this several times to an input statement when you have to type 2 plus something or something like that. Yeah, but what this actually does is it runs a line of Python code. So if I give it a line of Python code, it's going to run it, and you're going to see that in a few minutes from now. I'm going to show you that maybe after we finish this calculator. So when I come down here, I'm going to do while true. So what I want to do basically is I'm going to keep looping and asking the user to enter an operation so they can keep performing different mathematical operations. They can add 2 plus 1, do sine, whatever they want, and then it's gonna keep working. So I'm gonna do while true. I'm gonna come here down here and I'm gonna say, okay, let's call this expression. So I'm gonna get an input from the user, and then I'm gonna say, okay, instead of typing enter an expression, let's just do this so they know they are supposed to input something in front of this. Wow, this even looks like an emoji. Okay, so we're gonna come down here and say if expression, okay, sorry, let's just do if not expression this, then we want to continue. We're gonna say the reason why we have that in a minute, and then we're gonna say if expression is equals to q. I just want a little bit of consistency there. That's why I'm using the double quotes. Then I'm gonna do break. So if they type q, which means they want to leave the program, so it's gonna break and leave the loop. And next thing I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna print calculate an expression. So what I'm doing basically here is I'm calling my function. No, this is the name of my function. Now to call your function, what do you do to invoke the function? You call it with parentheses, and then I'm passing this argument to it, whatever they give us. Okay, so whatever they give us, I call this function. This function comes up here, and then it performs this operation and returns the value back to this print statement, and then the print statement prints the result out. Oh, sorry, Control Z. Then once it prints the result out, that's what we want. So the reason why I have this if not expression is, for example, if they press enter, Python is going to try to calculate an empty string, okay, and it might result to an error. So we don't want that. So if it's empty, we want to keep asking them to enter till they enter something actually. And you can also use a try except in case they don't use actual mathematical expressions. So but that's not what I'm gonna be doing. You just want to create a calculator. You can improve that later on your own, which is good for you. If you're a beginner, you learn how to do other things. So if you don't know how to make use of the try except block or Python, if you don't know how to handle Python exceptions, basically, you can watch my video. I'm gonna put it down in the description below on the card up, so you learn how to handle exceptions in Python. Okay, so without we are talking too much, we're gonna save this and then I'm gonna come here. Now let's run our code and see what it does. So I'm gonna do Python calculator.py. So to navigate the way I just did, just arrow up. It's gonna take you to the previous command you wrote. Okay. So now let's put 2 plus 2. As you can see, it printed 4. I can do 5. This that's the Python operation. So if I do this, if I do 5 raised to the power 5, 3, 1, 2. Oh, so it works with 5 raised to the power 2. That should be 25. So now let me show you something. If I do cos 44 minus 5, so this is the reason why we have this from math import everything. If I run it now, you see we have a value, which is cool because you can actually do this without getting an error. So if I do factorial 4, that should be 24. Okay, yeah, 24, as you can see. So what we are doing here is, as I said earlier, importing everything, and then whenever oh okay, so whenever we give Python, for example, cos 5 minus something else, so when it comes here, it comes to this function, and this function tries to evaluate cos. So I told you this evaluates whatever we have here as a line of code in Python. So then it evaluates cos and then almost hit an error if it doesn't find cos. But of course, since we have cos imported from here, from the math module, then it finds cos, performs the cos operation, and then returns the value, and then we print out what our value is. So that's why we have this imported, so we can use whatever mathematical operations we have from the standard math library. So that is cool. Now to reduce this, you can do this. You probably don't know this as a beginner. You can do this, but I would advise you not to do it all the time. Okay, so you can do this in Python is something you might not know about, though it will return an error. And also, instead of doing this, you can just do our eval operation here. Okay, eval expression, and then we're gonna clear this function. Okay, we're gonna save that, then let's run it again. Okay, let's Ctrl Z to leave. Oh, I should have used Q here, so let me run it again. If you use Q, it still works. I'm gonna come here now. I'm gonna do let's do sine 44. It still works. Q, and then we're out of the loop. Now let me show you something about this evaluate that is really spectacular. So if I come here and if I do run this Python code again, if I do print hello world, whoa, you see this, we have hello world. Wow. So now what happens here is, I told you, remember, this evaluates this line of code as a Python code, as a line of code in Python rather. So when I give it print hello world, it evaluates this as a line of code in Python. Now we see we have hello world, which is not what we are expecting though, but it's really cool. It's cool. It's cool. That is it for this video. I hope you learned a lot from this video. Evaluate function, you've learned so much more, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out, guys. Before we go, let's make sure we put this back in order. Okay, so we're gonna put 4 spaces there and 4 spaces there. So